So as you can see, I bought the Dyson Airwrap Complete package and I'm testing it out for the first time today. I have watched quite a number of videos on YouTube to kind of understand how things should work. So I'm applying a bond repair leave-in serum just to make sure that my hair is going to be okay. And this is a routine that I do with all of my other tools anyway. Now, they say that the Dyson one doesn't use extreme heat, but don't let that fool you into thinking that it doesn't use heat at all. It still gets quite hot, especially when you concentrate it near your scalp. So that's why I'm also using a heat protectant spray just to make sure that I don't add any more damage to my hair. Now we're gonna try. The setting that I initially used was the cold setting at the highest fan. Now I've changed it to the first setting. And I muted the video because I don't think you deserve to be listening to that screechy sound for the rest of the video. But I thought, I'm just going to do a voiceover and explain what I'm doing here. So I'm really just running my hands through my hair so that the air would be able to dry it. It's a very concentrated flow of air, as you can see from just how small and how thin the opening is. So you can really concentrate that to the areas that you want to dry. And I'm really only just half drying my hair, just so it's not too wet when I use the other brushes. That's something that I have learned from watching a lot of YouTube, as that's the mistake that I've been doing all this time because I don't actually own a hair dryer. I would go in with my hot brush tool, and then start drying my hair that way. And when your hair is wet and you start to style it and put a lot of heat on it to with the brush, it tugs and it's also more prone to breakage while it's wet. So it's best to half dry it before going in with a brush that would be pulling on your hair. And as you can see, I'm trying to be very gentle here because that's one of the problems that I've noticed with me is that I've got quite a bit of hair fall to the point that I've actually looked at taking some vitamins and even getting one of those subscription, I guess, packs with collagen and stuff like that with hair oil to make sure that not to grow more hair, but to stop my hair from falling. So, and as you can see, I'm not really sectioning this properly. I'm just going through this because I don't really have a lot of hair. And it's also quite short that I don't really need to section them. I'm just really letting the heat pass through so that it dries. And at this point, it's, I would say, about 75% dry already. But we're going to be changing brushes in a little bit anyway. So there we go. I did own the Shark FlexStyle. I'm inspecting the brush to see how much hair has come off, and there wasn't any. So I'm gonna come with the round brush here. Now this one's got finer bristles and there's more bristles there. So as you can see, I'm trying to be careful not to be pulling on my hair. But as I was saying, I did own the Shark FlexStyle and I returned that. I bought it through Amazon because that one is way too loud, and it's also not intuitive. If you want me to talk about my experience with that versus my experience with the Dyson, I can do that. So anyway, I'm just going through my hair. I'm not really trying to keep it in place for a long period of time because I'm not really trying to get a blowout. I just want my hair to dry and not be on fly away. So going through the motions, not really sectioning, gripping large chunks of hair and making sure that every area gets a pass through. And because I've applied that leave-in serum and the heat protectant, the hair is actually gliding through the bristles quite easily and not getting caught. That's a problem that I've had where it tangles because I hadn't even brushed through it before I started using my hot brush tool. And that's my fault. It's not the brush's fault. That's my fault for my ignorance. But see what I'm doing here. I'm just lifting it at the roots, making sure that the heat passes through those areas so I get a little bit of volume because my hair is fine, short, and can get quite limp. Now what I'm trying to do here is to dry it away from my face. I'm clearly not doing a very good job at it. I'm not a hair expert. This is something that I never did, and I'm in my 40s. So you can imagine the bad stuff that I've done to my hair. I also box dye my hair because I get quite a bit of gray, but it's very expensive to get your hair done here in Australia. So I just buy box dye and do it myself. And here I'm seeing there's probably like 5 or 6 strands of hair that got stuck. And I'm going to show you what it used to be with my other tool. Now this is my other tool. This is the Vidal Sassoon Frizz Defense. And it is a rotating hot brush. But can you see how much hair is that? Yeah, that's how much hair I would lose on in like 2 or 3 uses of this tool. As you can see, the bristles are quite heavily packed. I can still get some hair out of that. And it pulls quite a bit of hair when I'm drying my hair using that. But again, that's my fault. That's not the tool's fault because I didn't know any better. So what I'm gonna do here is twist this drying or this finishing attachment, and what that's going to do, I'm going to put that back into the cold setting. That's gonna take away the frizz, and this is the part that I really like because I've got really frizzy hair, and we are in summer here in Australia. We can get quite humid here in Sydney, and what this does, as you can see, is it lays it flat where I don't see any frizz, and wherever I see hair standing, I would go over it and it would just get flat. And some people would probably say, well, that defeats the purpose of you doing a blowout and putting volume in your hair. But no, it actually doesn't, because when you pass it through that way, it still retains the volume that you've created. It just tames away the frizz. I'm just making sure that I pass through every section of my head. This is actually a very therapeutic thing to do. So, yeah, I'm just gonna finish it off here. I'm really enjoying this, but I have to test it out because this is 800 Australian dollars, and I have to be 100% sure that I love it if I was going to keep it. Otherwise, I have 45 days to return it to Dyson. What do you think?